Welcome guys, this is Ashton with Freedom Fitness Equipment here with another video, this time about the Precor Elliptical. Let's go.
Let's go.
All right, so cardio is everybody's favorite exercise, right? Right. Okay, so if you don't like cardio, these machines might just be your jam. Let me explain. The Precor Elliptical was built back in, I think around 1995. They established one of the first patents for this what they call a CrossRamp system, which you see on either side of me. I've got two models here. This is the EFX Elliptical. This is also the EFX Elliptical. I say they're two models because this one has an LED screen, whereas this one has a fully interactive console display. But the basic functionality is gonna remain the same between these two machines. Why do I like Precor Ellipticals so much, and why do I like Precor Ellipticals over, say, Life Fitness, or Matrix, or True, or some of these other ellipticals that are honestly a lot shorter and more compact than the Precor Elliptical? Let me explain. The Precor Elliptical has a few different features which I absolutely love. One that I mentioned earlier was that originally patented CrossRamp system, which they actually licensed out to other brands. So there's other models that have this CrossRamp system. The CrossRamp system basically allows you to engage an incline or a decline right here. So as you're moving the pedals back and forth, you can adjust the incline on this machine to go up or down as you see fit. This gives you not necessarily a change in your stride, but it gives you more elevation and a harder workout. It doesn't increase the resistance, which you can also do, but it definitely gives you more of a difficult workouts like running hills. The benefit to an elliptical, just in general, over say a treadmill, some of the other like a wood weight or assault runner, is you're not pounding as much on your joints. Because these foot pedals here are just naturally gliding and moving smoothly, it's a much lower, less stressful, less impactful workout, particularly to your knees. So if you have had knee surgery, if you have had any sort of problems with lower body pain or joint discomfort, the elliptical models like these are a huge benefit. The other benefit to this system, which is not gonna matter as much for you home users, but may matter a whole heck of a lot to your commercial gym owners, is they are incredibly easy to work on. Let me explain why. So right down here, there is a plastic shroud that literally gives you access to everything in the drive system. So belts, electronics, everything is here.
That's good.
You literally unscrew the screw on the back, turn it to the side, pop it off, you're done. Everything's right here. Unbelievably easy to work on. This makes the Precor models one of the easiest models, aside from say the Matrix E3 or E5s, one of the easiest models to work on in the world. Add on top of that, the Precor reliability and dependability factor, their unbelievable technical support, their parts support, their availability of the parts, and you've got a real winner on your hands. Even if you can't access everything in the front here, because the wiring goes through the main console here and down through the base of the machine, the battery is still a few screws away in the front, and then any of the wiring, if you take off this console, all the wires and the plugs are plugged into the back here. Speaking of consoles, right now Precor is up to, I don't know how many generations of their console, but right now they have I think it's a P80 or P83 consoles now, which is those fully interactive digital screens that I was talking about earlier. The fully interactive digital screen has baked in apps and functionality. I believe you can run through different environments on there. And it's basically got its own little ecosystem, much like Apple does.
What?
They're very nice, they're very expensive, they're not cheap to replace. So usually what I recommend is somebody goes with the basic LED screen model, which is just numbers on a screen, nothing fancy, nothing digital. They're very inexpensive, relatively speaking, to replace and easy to work on. What you'll notice now is between these two models, there is a significant difference in how the drive system works. So you've got the Precor Elliptical with a little CrossRamp. You got a Precor Elliptical with a CrossRamp. These are both the EFX models. I think it's the 800 series on both of these. On this one, you've got what's called total body. Total body means, if you get on here, you're working out both upper body and lower body at the same time. On this one, you'll notice there's no arms, just lower body. So if you're gonna get on here, you're just a lower body boy.
Oh yeah!
Not a big deal, just a difference in the design. Some people prefer an elliptical that just does one thing and does it really well, works their lower body, because that's what they're gonna work on anyway. Other people prefer to have a little bit of upper body movement. I'm not as much of a fan of the total body, but I do love having the option. I mentioned in other videos, versatility is king. If you're gonna go with an elliptical, go with one that has more options than less. Again, if you don't want these arms here, all you have to do is hold on to these grip handles for dear life and you're good to go. All right, so we talked about a few of the features, particularly patented features of the Precor EFX models. Let's talk about some of the cons to this brand. So a few of the cons are wheels, which are basically non-existent on a few of these models, like this one over here. If you're trying to wheel this across the floor, particularly in your house or even in a commercial gym, there is one set on this model. There is not a set on this model, which makes it a pain in the ass to move. So you've got to get dollies under the front and the back to even move this model around. One of the things I've also consistently noted, and part of the issue is they're so reliable, they last forever, and you're gonna have to do maintenance on these, but the way that they baked in the stride on these machines is such that you've got dirt and grime and grit that can get down in between these shrouds and the wheels, and it can cause some unevenness and wear on not only wheels, but just the drive system in general. So when you start pedaling, if there's any dirt that's accumulated inside these shrouds, you gotta take all the shrouds off, you gotta clean that rail system, and it's just a little bit of a nuisance. I wish they would have either a fully enclosed system or just leave that exposed. There are two more gripes I have with the Precor elliptical. One, which I mentioned earlier at the beginning of this video, is due to the length of the machine, it doesn't always fit in compact environments. So if you have a training studio where you need space, you're better off going with, say, a true model or a matrix model that is a little bit more compact. Might be a little bit wider, but it's definitely more compact. The other issue is, if you're going with a fancier screen, those screens are thousands of dollars, $2,000 to $3,000 to replace at a minimum. Possibly more if you order directly from Precor instead of getting a refurbished model. This is crazy. When the price of a plasma TV doesn't exceed $750 or an LED screen you can get at Costco doesn't exceed X amount of dollars, the fact that they are still charging this much for the replacement of their proprietary screen is not just outrageous, it's, in my opinion, taking a little bit of advantage of the consumer. If your screen goes, just know what you're getting in for. That's why I always opt for the LED screen, which is much more basic, much less expensive to replace. Yes, it's hundreds of dollars, but you could save yourself thousands on ordering something that has the fully integrated and digital display. That's my summary here for the Precor EFX Elliptical series with the CrossRamp. If you have any questions, put them in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. And follow Freedom Fitness Equipment on YouTube.